recording. We're recording. Yay.
Yay.
So I was thinking, going from that segue, about masculine and feminine energy. Where does that play out in your business? Or where should that play out in our businesses? Let's ask that question.
It's such an important question. And up until recently, it's been all masculinity, and that's why it wasn't working. Working really hard, pushing really hard, hustling, going after, money and clients, and, that's the masculine, and we need that part. But the feminine energy, that's sitting back when you don't know what to do next, or when you don't have the energy to push. That's feminine energy. Listening within instead of always looking out. I gotta take this certification. I gotta follow this person. I gotta go to that class. Sitting back and listening to what ultimately you already have the answers within. Mm-hmm. So the best resources within. That's feminine energy. Making time for yourself, health-wise, exercise, meditation. For me, my morning routine, is pretty extensive, and some people might look at it and say, look, it's luxurious or lazy even. Mm-hmm. I don't like to start my day early with clients, not because I'm just like sleeping and watching TV. I get up and meditate for like at least 30 minutes, sometimes an hour. Then I go for a walk. Then I come back and I make myself breakfast. Then if I have time, I might do Pilates, like that all. I used to feel so guilty about wanting that time. And that was the masculine telling me that like, there's no time for that. Mm-hmm. So, you need both. You need both. And you can't be all of that because you'll never get anything done. You need to have the masculine energy to get things done, but you definitely have to have both. And I believe that historically, business, being an entrepreneur, has solely been a masculine, energetic process.
Mm. Yeah. Very good point. Yeah. Self-care is critical. If you're birthing a business, it's all about you, and you need to be healthy and charged and have the energy and the tools all there to make your business happen.
Also, that's where like the best ideas come from.
Yes.
Sitting back and just, allowing the answers to just come to you. That's where the entire Awakened Beauty program was birthed. I wasn't like sitting at home. It was actually during quarantine when, I couldn't take physical clients. And I always, from April, basically until it gets cold, meditate outside in the morning. And especially, April to May, that birthing period of spring, I always go outside and meditate. And that's where that whole entire program came from. It came from meditation. Mm-hmm. And it was a crazy experience. Like downloading that kind of stuff is a crazy experience, and the aha moments and the like, am I hearing things, or like, did that really just come through? And then you just like spend all of this energy, like, doing it, and it's a flow. And like, if you're just constantly doing and don't allow that experience, then like you're missing all the magic, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you feel like also just receiving, like allowing giving time and space just to receive things, like just because, like it's almost like that thought, like when you're a queen, you kind of just like people bring you gifts and stuff. And like the more I lean into that energy, the more like people DM me with offers and you want to be on this podcast? Sure. Like it's not really like I don't know. I don't know if that's also because I'm a projector in human design. So maybe I'm a little bit more, my path is more to receive than anything. But I find too that like just allowing yourself to receive, and it's hard. Like we're taught to do, you know, but sometimes it feels so good to just be like, you come to me, baby. You know,
That's
like,
actually, yeah, that's honest. It should be a perfect marrying of the two. But, you know, what you just said about receiving, we live in a culture where we think receiving is solely green dollar bills. You know, it's solely in our bank account. And when you are just sitting in, you know, your home or outside or wherever, like, you realize that abundance is far more than just money. And then you start to really realize how rich you are, not just financially, but with, you know, food on your table, a roof over your head, you know, being alive, breathing, just everything is, you know, a gift. And if you're constantly chasing after something, you don't get time to receive that. And when it's a ripple effect. When you start to be grateful for all of those things, then the money just shows up. And it's happened to me. It's insane. Like when you stop chasing the money and just start being grateful for what you have and just becoming who you are supposed to be, the money just shows up. Like it just, even from a place that you would have never expected it. So we're always supported. We just have to realize that, you know, we have the answers within. We just might need a little bit of help unleashing it, unraveling it.
This is a concept I'm dealing with my clients all the time. I'm like, you already know. I'm just here to be a mirror to help you, for it to come to light, for it to appear in a more obvious way to you. That's all I'm here for. and the clients that really resonate with that are the clients that fly. Like they get to be uncontrollably powerful, like where they can't even control, like, you know, this one client, she wants it, she gets it now. It's like crazy. So yeah, how does that resonate with you, Sarah?
Yeah, I mean, it falls into the whole, that idea again of be, do, have.
Mm-hmm.
So I find really success for me is when I'm just like happy and a giddy child all the time. Like that's it. That's my abundance that I'm going for. So if I'm just being that and I'm having the fun I'm living, like, which is like, that's the end of the road. You know, people will leave their 9-to-5s and start their businesses so they can get to that point. That's what I'm honing in on in this moment. I am in that point. So I'm just going to be that and just have fun. And whenever I hone in on that, then like life just happens, and like magic happens, little connections. Oh yeah, this is perfect. Of course. Yeah. Oh yeah, right. Okay. Things are coming in. All right. I am me. This is great. Yeah.
Definitely.
So Ashley, can you talk a bit more about, you have a lot of services that you offer, just like the services you offer and when you started your business and where you are with it. Yeah.
I'm a double Gemini, so I'm the jack of all trades. And I didn't realize that, I didn't even know that I was a double Gemini until kind of recently, a couple years ago when I went through this whole thing. So I started my business, and just to back up a little bit, I did go to college and then worked my way up a little bit in corporate America. I said that. And I think that's really important for people to know that, like, starting over is part of the process. Like I lost everything. I completely had to start over. and was like, okay, what do I do now? What do I like? Let's start there. What do I like? And I like beauty. I've always loved playing with makeup and hair and fashion and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll start there. And I started, it showed up into my life. An opportunity showed up into my life to learn how to custom blend makeup. And as somebody who has always struggled with, sensitive skin, it was perfect for me. So I still wear that 11 years later. And it is something that I do. It's not really something that I'm completely focusing on right now, but you wanted to know about my services, and that is something that I do. Custom blend makeup. And that is what, if without that experience, without going into salons and spas and working one-on-one with clients and hearing client after client after client, woman after woman, sitting there in my chair saying the same thing, if only I could get rid of this, if only I could do this, can you make me look prettier? I'm not prettier enough, blah, 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 blah. If it wasn't for that experience and becoming a licensed esthetician, where I still do other things like microcurrent and holistic beauty services, but traditional services, then I wouldn't have had that aha moment where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not making an impact on these women.
Sorry.
Namaste.
I was like,
I'm not. What?
I was like, what? Thinking in my head, can I hold it in? I was like, nope.
Oh, definitely don't. No. So without that experience, I wouldn't have had the aha moment, which is when I was like, I still remember to this day. I left work early to get to a yoga class, and I always practice yoga at home, but that day I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And I went to a yoga class, had the most profound experience. And from there was like, there was a meditation at the end of it. And I was like, I need more of this in my life. And that led me to a meditation teacher who actually ended up being a Reiki master. And I did my first Reiki treatment, which I had no idea what really Reiki was at the time. And so if it wasn't for me hating my corporate job and like that lifestyle and starting over and starting like, well, what do I like? Beauty. Okay. I like beauty. And then continuing on that path, I never would have gotten to this point. So I really think, because ultimately this video is supposed to be to help entrepreneurs, right? Mm-hmm. So like, I'm 36. I graduated college when I was, I don't know, shoot. Remember I said I wasn't good at math? 22. Basically, this has been a 10-year-ish journey. No, 14-year journey. Mm-hmm. Not easy. Like if an entrepreneur is just like starting out right now, like, it's a journey, and I could be going on this journey, until I'm 80 years old. But you asked about my services. So because I still have to make a living, I still am doing, custom blended makeup. I still take clients for microcurrent treatments and face and dermology. And I also practice Reiki. And on top of all of that, a combination of all of that in and outer beauty is what the Awakened Beauty program is. And also a service that I provide is not only I work with Reiki, but I work with a frequency modality that is the marrying of Reiki, spirituality, and actual science. So, because like I said, I didn't know about Reiki until a couple of years ago, and that's not something that I grew up knowing about. It's out there for people to understand, and it's coming around now. In fact, there's I became a Reiki master by a woman who is heading up, and has been for years, a program to get Reiki into hospitals. And so it is being accepted. And however, science is even more accepted. And so this frequency modality is it can actually read energy. So it can tell you where you are not in alignment, and can send vibrations to you. And then I also use Reiki with my clients, but I want to teach my clients to heal on their own. You know, that obviously I want you to come to me because that is what I do for a living, and I love that. But ultimately, you have to live with yourself, and so you need the tools to help yourself at home. Yeah. And it would be great if everybody became a Reiki master, but everyone's not going to do that. And so something that I'm working with more recently is a frequency modality that I'm teaching people how to use while they're with me, and then it's something that they can take at home and use at home for everything from getting, you know, alignment with their chakras and making their auras stronger, to skin and sleep and anxiety, because really energy is all the same. It's all the same thing. It's just how it's directed. Everybody has a station for different parts of your body. So I'm just helping people tune into that.
What's it called, this frequency modality?
It's called Healy.
Okay. And so if people are interested, they can contact you and you can send them to their, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can either, what I offer free aura analysis. That's something that I could do just from talking with you on the phone. I will need to get a picture of you. So you could either send me a picture, because it reads energy based on picture. And obviously, you know, the intention, it's all about intention. So you'll have to set the intention to be read and be open to it. And then, so I can offer people free aura analysis that just helps people see what, you know, what maybe they're a little low on, although ultimately it's really just a reinforcement of what they already know. Mm-hmm. You know, the other day I was really sad about something, like really, really sad about something personal. And I ran my aura and my heart chakra was like super low. It's really cool to see. And it's a great tool to have to like sit there and meditate and put that heart frequency on. But like ultimately I knew that my heart was hurting, you know. Mm-hmm. But this is just where science is going. This is where healing is going. So
as an entrepreneur, I'm interested in pivoting, because you've pivoted a lot in the last 14 years, right?
I'm the pivot queen.
I love that. So like, do you have any advice or information for people who have to pivot? Because I'm actually thinking about pivoting, and there's nothing wrong with my current structure, but it's like, how can I make this a little bit better or fit a little bit more into who I am? So what, you know, how does that pivot come? Like, is it a ping in the Lacy Phillips world? You know, tell us what it looks like, and if you have any advice.
Well, my pivots up until this point were not subtle. It was the universe making me pivot. Mm-hmm. So for instance, I didn't want to leave my secure corporate job because I was afraid. I was, you know, making good money, and I was afraid to leave that as much as I hated it. And so, you know, what did the universe do? They, you know, flooded my condo with sewage, and I got into 4 fender benders in 1 year. And, you know, the same year my dog died. Just like, it was like, okay, start over. Okay, I have no other choice. I have to start over. My clothes are in the dump right now. I'm starting over. So my pivots were that they were forced, kind of. And now it's a knowing that when something's not working, it's a feeling. I know this isn't working because it doesn't feel right. I'm just not in alignment. It's, you know, every day I'm stressed out or upset, or, you know, it's just something's just not working. And, you know, sometimes you have to fight through things. Like right now I'm in a growth period, and there are days when I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. I'm crying and I don't want to do anything. But ultimately I love the work that I'm doing. I'm just growing. And so that's a pain, but there's a difference between growing pains and resistance.
How do you tell the difference?
if you can't see yourself not doing something. Like, I can't see myself not helping someone. I can't see myself not talking about the chakras. I can't see myself not talking about what we're talking about today. You know, I'm not getting paid for this, but I could literally talk to you guys for 8 hours because I'm passionate about it. Resistance is when I'm like, I'm not getting on that call today. Like, I don't feel like it. This is my day off. I'm not going to spend my time doing this. So resistance is like, your body just doesn't like, you're just not passionate about it. And growing pains it's hard, but I know that this is what I want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of like where your heart is guiding you in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell from what the heart's saying. That's, yeah.
I was thinking about this morning because I was up at 5:30 in the morning, and I used to have to get up for, you know, my corporate job at, you know, 5 or 5:30, 6 o'clock if I wanted to like work out and, you know, shower and then commute and like get to work on time at 8. And my dream always was, I just wanted to sleep in. Like, I just want to sleep in. But I know now that I'm doing the right thing because it's 5:30 in the morning and I'm excited to get out. I'm like, I'm already up. I might as well get out of bed and meditate. Ooh, planets are still out. Ooh, it's still dark outside. Let's see what like downloads I can get. Like, that's how I know that any pain that I'm feeling is just growing pains, because I want to get out of bed at 5:30 in the morning and meditate. And that is something that other people need to learn how to do. Not everyone's going to, you know, meditate as much as I meditate. And maybe I meditate too much, who knows? But my point is, if you're willing to get out of bed and do it when you don't have to do it, that's when you know that you're on the right path.
Yeah, that's a great tip. There's another thing that Shaman Durek said that's stuck with me for years now, and that was on one of his podcast episodes, and he said, if you wake up in the morning feeling like you have a knife to your throat, you need to change something.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
That's a really good it's not a great visualization. No,
it's not.
But I have felt that way many a time in my life.
Yeah.
And so I know how that feels, and he's absolutely right. Another thing is, you know, people, and I used to feel this way, like on Sunday afternoons, if they get depressed because their weekend's almost, you know, it's coming to a close, and like they're getting closer to Monday morning, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a terrible way to live.
Yeah.
That is a horrible way to live, to wish your, you know, the week away just so you can get those, you know, 1.5 days, because half of Sunday doesn't even count, you know? Sad.
Yeah. And it's really interesting as women how incredibly intensely it can affect our bodies. Like, it's so weird. I mean, I left my 9 to 5, I think 6 weeks ago now, and my body is like radically changed. Like, I'm easily like, I just it's just crazy, like in so many ways. It's something about like letting go of the resistance and just living in this moment is just, I think, so good for the body and makes you so healthy. And yeah, I just wanted to share that, because to me, like, that's been one of the craziest changes, is like, I didn't expect this, but like, there's so many things about my body that's changing, all for the good, by the way. But like, it's really fascinating.
Yeah, that's a huge part of what I do in my program too. It's looking at things like weight loss and skin and, you know, beauty in a different way, because same thing happened to me, Morgan. I have never been fitter than I am right now. I mean, there was a time when I, you know, was going to a personal trainer and was like entered, but I wasn't actually healthy then. I've never been healthier and look better physically than I have right now because I'm doing things like meditation, sleep, eating healthy, exercising. And my exercising is like, you can't get me to run. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing any crazy spinning or anything. I'm doing yoga, I'm doing walking, I'm doing Pilates. Like, I'm doing things that that feel good to me.
Yeah.
And when we let go of whatever that is, stress, a job that we hate, whatever, the side effect is beauty. Because like you can't put a treatment, you can't compare a treatment, a face treatment or a weight loss product to getting sleep and eating healthy.
Yeah.
It's never gonna work.
I don't know if the two of you would agree with this, but you become incredibly magnetic. I mean, I didn't truly understand what Lacy Phillips meant by that until this moment. Like, it's crazy. Like, I haven't been on, so up until when I left, I hadn't been on a date all year. I like couldn't get a guy to commit. And then I left my 9 to 5. I did like some really amazing RTT sessions with Sarah. By the way, I cannot recommend it enough. And then boom, I'm going on my third date with a third guy. I hope none of you are watching this, but like, it's really crazy. Like, you become crazy magnetic, and you feel like it's just insane. Like, it's truly, it's nuts. I can't even explain it. And also how much, like, Ashley used to say this to me all the time, how connected career with relationships is. And I was like, like, inside Morgan was like, fuck that shit. I hated it because I was so triggered by it, but it's
same.
So true. Yeah, so triggered by that. And but it's really true. Like, as we lean into who we are meant to be, I'm not saying it's all going to happen at the same time. Like, some people does, and I don't like to put expectations of timelines personally, but like, I do think it's incredible. Like, how when we start to lean into who we are meant to be, how like people come to us, and by the way, it's not like any of these guys are the love of my life. Maybe one of them will be, but that's not the point here. The point is I'm getting the tests now, like in relationships, which is a next step, because I was like, wasn't even in a place to get tests, which was driving me nuts. So anyway, it's incredible.
I was the same way.
Yeah. Sarah, how about for you? Did that happen for you, or did you feel that at all?
I'm feeling it more now. So I knew I still had unblocking to do after I made my jump, but I needed to make the jump first. It's just how it had to happen for me.
I was the same.
Yeah. I needed to take all of my energy back in from all these sources I was giving it to that I didn't want to, and it wasn't serving me. So I had to take it all back in and recenter myself to see where I actually was, and then start setting the foundations from there. But yeah, I mean, like, this week is a really good week. I made a lot of shifts at the end of last week, and mindset and whatnot. And like, I have some like fun things happening this week. Like, I randomly found this, I wasn't even looking for it, but I found a Craigslist post for this artist looking for extra help, like an artist's helper. And this person is a really cool artist and like late in his career, and he's like into the same artist as me. Anyway, it's like, so now I have this little side gig to like work with some artists in the community, and that's something I've been craving for
oh my God,
a long time. I wasn't even looking for it, but because I was so like, yay, I'm me. And I was just like, on the internet, I found this opportunity.
And I just, we are getting to time, so I want to respect that. But I just want to say one more thing about Saturn returns. this is a little bit off track, but completely what I'm trying to say is that I think Sarah and I are both going through our Saturn returns right now, going into, and Ashley, you told me that your Saturn return was when like your apartment flooded, like you were saying earlier, and a bunch of shit went down.
The exact age I was that you guys are now.
Yeah, and it's truly, it is incredible. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this is a piece of advice. When you're going through your Saturn return, you have two choices. You can either fucking listen or you cannot. And if you don't, you're effed. I'm telling you right now. And I have seen so many friends either just go through it or are going through it, and they're not listening, and they're not going with the pings, and they're not jumping off cliffs. And it fucking sucks. It is so hard to watch it. And it's like, I almost am like, oh my God. You know, it's so hard to watch. And you can see the people who are over their Saturn returns, who didn't go with the flow, and they had terrible 2 years. They're going into 2020 with like, with depression. How am I going to do this? I seriously, if you are 28 years old, you need to, you are being gifted your 2020. Like, I know many ways I'm so grateful my Saturn return is during 2020, because it's like, not only I'm going through all this stuff, so is the world. So I just like, seriously, we're going into the age of Aquarius. That's my my Saturn is in Aquarius, which I find crazy. But anyway, like seriously, please, for God's sakes, I call me, I will talk you through it. If I see one more 28-year-old resisting their Saturn return, I'm going to go nuts, because we're just like, we're being like, you're going to be forced, or it's going to suck. Anyway, okay, I'm done.
You should definitely do I don't know, a whole talk on that.
Yeah, like I used to do a pep talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And one more thing that I want to say about all of like the manifestation and timing and all of that is something that I didn't realize until right now, because I'm finally manifesting the things that I've been working on for over a year, probably more like a year and a half, is that the universe, it just takes time. It takes time. Like, you know, if you want to get into quantum physics a little bit, like your dream life already exists. You just have to like become that person, and then, you know, allow it to come to you. But, you know, it's not going to happen tomorrow. So for all the entrepreneurs out there, and I'm talking to myself too, because I still battle with this every single day, like it takes time.
Yeah, I can't echo that enough either. It's so true. You know, I've been coaching now for 2 years. I'm very experienced, but it does take time. And the building of the business does not happen overnight. It's you know, in many ways you don't want to be a viral sensation. You want to build slowly but surely rather than extremely quickly, because you know, I hear it all the time. I love to read like success stories in business, but the people who get launched into being viral and stuff, they usually crash and burn because they don't have time to learn the lessons in a real way. So yeah, the slow and steady wins the race. And I know that's painful to hear, and like, yeah, but I need money, Morgan. And I get it. I like really do get it. But I really do think it's important to remember it's slow build. Yeah.
And you'll be taken care of. The universe will take care of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just be you, do you.
I love that.
And the universe will take care of everything else.
So true. Yeah. Well, this has been such an incredible conversation. I am just so blessed to have you both in my life. I was saying to another friend, I was like, I don't remember what was pre-Ashley and Sarah life like for Morgan.
I know.
I don't remember.
Like, I can't remember ever having a friend in my past that I could call up and be like, some dark beings came to me in my dreams last night, girls. You got anyone else feeling it?
True.
So true.
It's hilarious. Speaking of which, protect yourselves.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. We'll get your social stuff and where people can find you, and we're going to put your information in the box down below.
Oh,
Yeah. Any parting words do you want to share, Ashley?
yes. Right now, if you were drawn to watching this, especially if you're drawn to watching it all the way to the end, and then, this is really resonating with you and calling to you, there is no mistake that you are where you are right now at this moment. And that feeling that like, I really want to do this, but I'm scared, like call anyone who's on this call, or, find yourself a coach. But you've got to do it. It's your responsibility. It's your duty. It's literally why you were put on this planet, to be here at this time, 2020, when the world is on fire and we're going into this huge paradigm shift. Like you can't hide. Like it's just not fair to the rest of us who are out here busting our butts to, make, the world a more beautiful, lighter place. If we need your help. Essentially, we need your help. Don't hide.
Yeah,
That's so love it.
that's great. And also, you can't hide from yourself because you need you.
Yeah. Amen. Right.
Seriously. All right. Well, ladies, thank you again. And yeah, we'll see you next time, guys.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Ashley.